Yo, guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the locker room. We have another good episode for you today as we just wrapped up probably one of the best divisional round series of all time in sports. That is how good that this weekend of football was, as we had the Bengals, Titans, Packers, Niners, Rams, Bucks, and the who was it? Bills and Chiefs. Yeah, that game we have some thoughts to get to on that one, but we really have thoughts to get to on a lot of these games. As of right now, it is Thursday when I am recording this, so we're going to be going through a lot of rumors that have been progressing throughout the week. Aaron Rodgers, all the new head coaching candidates that we know. But first, here's what we're going to do. We're going to recap all the games last week. Then we'll go through the rumors, and then at the end of the episode, I'll give you my predictions for this week's conference championship games. Then we wait a week, and then we got the Super Bowl. Well, we got the Pro Bowl first, but then we got the Super Bowl. So, that'll go. Let's get started. First game that we have to talk about is the Bengals versus the Titans. The Cincinnati Bengals came out on top with another clutch kick from Evan McPherson. 52-yarder from the right side, I believe. Went through the uprights to send the Bengals to their one of their last AFC championships since the late 80s, which is huge for the Bengals fans and the Bengals themselves. So in that game, it was a lot of defense, I must say, even though doesn't look like it was a defensive game. It was pretty much a defensive game. So all you know the story, pretty much. Joe Burrow got sacked like 9 times. That what I thought was going to happen with the Raiders game happened in the Titans game. The Titans' defensive line absolutely destroyed the Bengals' offensive line, and Joe Burrow got sacked a whopping 9 times. And when you're going up against the Chiefs, that cannot happen because there was a lot of points left on the board for the Bengals, and the Bengals cannot leave points up on the board against the Chiefs. I know they've beaten them one time, but that was also in Cincinnati. When you're in Arrowhead, you cannot leave points on the board because then you will lose. Because you got to take it as if Patrick Mahomes is going to score every time, because what we saw last week, he will score every time. If he gets the ball in his hands, then he is most likely going to score, and that's about it. So if you're the Bengals, the one thing that you need to capitalize on this week is being able to not leave points on the board. No turnovers, make sure you're not getting sacked, and just score points, because that is how you'll win this football game. But the Titans overall defensively played a great game. Offensively, not so much. I was telling you guys last episode that if the Titans wanted to win this game, that they would have to, get the offense going and be able to pass the ball. And I said that they would not win because they cannot pass the ball. I was talking about the week before how I picked the Patriots, but the Patriots could not pass the ball, so they didn't win the game. You can't always rely on the run game. And that's what everything was getting hyped up about Derrick Henry coming back for the first time since like week 9 to run over the Bengals, and he did not. The Bengals really stopped him this week, and that was a big advantage that the Bengals had over the Titans, is they stopped the run. And then when they stopped the run and the Titans had a pass, that is where they had their fails. Those fails were in the pass game with Ryan Tannehill, turning the ball over 3 times. That cannot happen. And one of the biggest turnover of the year for them, which got the Bengals in that pretty much field goal range, besides one play to Jamar Chase, which got them the ball around midfield so that they could take the ball into field goal range and kick the game-winning field goal. As I said earlier, you got to be able to pass the ball. I told you guys last episode, I don't think the Titans would be able to pass the ball that well, and sure enough, I was right, because Ryan Tannehill throwing 3 interceptions. And I want to talk a little bit more on Ryan Tannehill here. Should he stay in Tennessee? Is Tennessee going to willing to keep him? Because if you're honestly thinking about a number 1 seed in the playoffs, they were not worth the number 1 seed. I even said it before they even played. They should not have been the number 1 seed. But Ryan Tannehill lost them that game, and he has lost them a lot of games this year. So is it time to move on from Ryan Tannehill? That is a big question that you have to think about this offseason if you are the Titans or a Titans fan. Because there's a lot of potential great quarterbacks in the draft in the back of the first round, in the second round, that you could pick up on where that Titans pick is. So you always have to keep that in mind. And if you are the Tennessee Titans, is it time to move on from Ryan Tannehill? Because if you have a quarterback who can make plays, who knows? You might even be moving on, and you might be in the AFC Championship right now. I know Ryan Tannehill has brought you to an AFC Championship, but he has not done more than that. not more than that. And you need a quarterback that can get you more than that because you are in win now mode. So that's the big question. Is it time to move on from Ryan Tannehill? Only time will tell. So during this offseason, we will see progression on Ryan Tannehill and the Titans' decisions moving forward. As far as the Bengals, I hope they win this week. I'll touch on that game later. Root for the Bengals. I've been rooting for them ever since they beat the Raiders in the playoffs in the wild card weekend. So let's go, Joe Shiesty. Get that W. Take the Bengals to the Super Bowl. Then we on to the next game that day as the Packers played the one, the only, the mighty 49ers. They're mighty when they play the Packers, 4-0 in the postseason against the Packers, and that continued, which brought them to 4-0 last week when they got the 13-10 win over the Packers, which was honestly, it was a really, really boring game to watch, if I'm being completely honest, as that first drive, you thought the Packers were going to win the game no matter what, because what they did was they had a great combination of the run and the pass, and they eventually pushed it off with a 1-yard touchdown run by A.J. Dillon, which was, that drive honestly made them look like that they were going to be dominate the whole game on offense, but we know that was not the case at all because they scored that one touchdown and they only scored 6 more points the entire game. And what's really sad is that this game did not come down to offense or defense. This came down to special teams. That is how this game was won, and this is how you lost that game. There was multiple plays on special teams that should not have happened. The biggest one everyone's going to think about it is the block punt. That is the only reason the 49ers won the game, because the 49ers did not score one offensive touchdown, which is absolutely unbelievable that you win an NFC divisional playoff game against the number 1 seed. Not only the number 1 seed, the Green Bay Packers, led by Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams, and you don't score an offensive touchdown and you win the game. I would have bet 1,000 my whole life that if you do not score an offensive touchdown, you cannot win the game. And the saying is defense wins championships, but I think this proves that that can happen because people say defense wins championships, but if you can't score, you can't win. Well, the 49ers did that this week. So defense does win championships as they held Aaron Rodgers to 13 points. It was 10 points. 10 points. They only scored 10 points. What am I thinking? So 10 points was scored by them. But then I also have to give credit to the Packers defense because the Packers defense did not allow one offensive touchdown, which is absolutely amazing. This Packers defense has come a really long way, and that is just how bad their defense was last year. It's just a big improvement to see with Darnell Savage and all those guys coming back. But the Packers' future, not looking so bright. And I actually want to touch on that for a minute because Aaron Rodgers wasn't his last time walking off to Lambeau. I mean, even was it Davante Adams' last time walking off a Lambeau? In my opinion, it was. Because Aaron Rodgers is probably, sure, this game might be his fault, but he is probably pissed out of his mind that they did not beat them, and he is probably going to leave, along with Davante Adams. Because the Packers are in the second worst cap situation in the league right now, and you have one of the highest paid running backs. This is why I tell you never pay a running back. They're the most replaceable position, and you have to pay him a lot. And that is why I was upset when the Packers re-signed Aaron Jones. They re-signed Aaron Jones to a big contract. Next year, he'll still be on that contract while they're in depth going into a rebuild, having one of the worst cap situations. So Aaron Jones, if you are going into the rebuild, Aaron Jones needs to be the first one to go. Besides Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones needs to be the first one to go if you are the Packers rebuilding and let A.J. Dillon take over still on that rookie contract, who we don't even know. He might be better than Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is a great running back, but we have seen great signs of A.J. Dillon. A.J. Dillon has looked phenomenal, and I would really like to see the Packers and Aaron Jones part ways just to see the workhorse that A.J. Dillon is, because he is a absolute monster on the field, which is just, he's so fun to watch, and it's a shame that we don't get to watch him that much. But Yeah, if the Packers go into a rebuild, that means Davante Adams and Aaron Rodgers are most likely leaving. The rumors are Davante Adams once said it would be a dream to play with Derek Carr, so maybe Davante comes to Vegas, but everything going around right now seems that it is Denver that Aaron Rodgers and both Davante Adams will be going to. But do I believe this? I believe Aaron Rodgers will go there. I don't quite think Davante Adams will go there because I don't think that Denver can afford all that. That's like $65 million, just like that. Sure, you want to win a Super Bowl, but it's not guaranteed. So I do not think that they both will go in there. I think Aaron Rodgers will end up going there just because they did just sign Nathaniel Hackett. They just signed the Packers offense coordinator to be their head coach. So that might convince Rodgers to go there. I don't know about Adams. I don't know if the Denver's going to be willing to pay, but prayers up. Adams, come to Vegas, play with Derek Carr, go win a Super Bowl with my man DC. As Derek Carr got a haircut, that's a good thing. His hair's a little shaky, but he looks good now. He got that shasty little spiced up, so it looks good now. Good job, Derek Carr, beating your bet with AJ Cole. As I saw a tweet today, they made a little bet. AJ Cole said that he would not grow it out the entire season. Sure enough, he did, but it's cut now. So all you going crazy on Derek Carr's hair, it's fine. It's cut. It wasn't even a big deal in the first place. I was fine with long hair because we were winning games with long hair, so you know what I'm saying. But anyway, back to the Packers. If they do go on the rebuild, first things you need to do is get rid of Aaron Jones. So Packers, I don't know. We just went on a rant about the Packers, but you're really talking about that divisional game. And the 49ers all around just beat, or not all around, on special teams. That is where they beat Packers. Packers offensively outplayed them, and defensively they outplayed them too. But that just proves that special teams is a part of the game of football, and you need to have a great one to even make it this far into the postseason. So good job, 49ers. You beat off Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. And here's the question for this game. Was that Aaron Rodgers last time on Lambeau or as a Packer? You will see. Only time will tell. As he did say, it will only take till free agency, as that's how long he wants to wait. But next game was the next day. It was another amazing game. This is probably my second favorite game. This was probably my favorite game this week, and it was Tampa Bay, Tom Brady versus Matthew Stafford. As in the first half, Matthew Stafford and the Rams came out firing on all cylinders. Bam, 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 touchdown, field goal, getting the ball, forcing turnover, stopping Tom Brady, which is going to be the biggest thing that you need to do if you want to beat Tom Brady, is stopping Tom Brady. And overall, they did do that in the first half, but not the second half. And that is where you need to fix things up if you want to make it to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. But anyway, going back to the first half, the Rams absolutely dominated. Tom Brady could not get things going, and the Rams were getting things going besides that one turnover by Cam Akers. But overall, Aaron Rodgers, first drive that he was on the field, got a touchdown. Very nice. They went down. They might have got a field. No, they got a field goal their first drive. Something like that. They scored. That's all I know. They got the scores, and they got the scores to add up to make it 20-3 or 20-6 going into halftime. I believe it was 23. And then they come out, started off with another touchdown. But then I was sitting there, I'm like, I'm not counting out Brady. I won't never count out Brady till triple zeros are on the clock. And I'm glad I didn't, because Tom Brady, I don't know what he did, but he is Tom Brady, and he does some crazy things. And he almost pulled off another crazy one as he led Tampa Bay all the way back to tie the game with 40 seconds left. But overall, the Rams killed themselves there. Some very conservative play calling that I did not like, and they overall could just not move the chains, and they cannot stop Tampa. So that is on them, as well as the Cam Akers fumble, which is also on them, which led to the touchdown. But we have 40 seconds on the clock, and Matthew Stafford, we all think it's over. He's never had these big clutch games that he has had to do, but we've shown that Detroit is just a sucky place to be, because he throws a dime, an absolute dime, to Cooper Kupp to get him in field goal range. And the Rams kick a field goal, and they smack off Tom Brady. to move on to the AFC champion or the NFC championship against the Rams. And they knocked off Tom Brady. But the thing is Tom Brady fully knocked off? Is Tom Brady done? Is he playing next year? What's going on with Tom Brady? Is he going to stay in Tampa? If he plays again, he is most likely, because his contract's coming to an end. Does he go somewhere else? Does he retire? We don't know, because he is actually considering retirement for the first time in his career, and he is 46 years old. Imagine just considering retirement when you're 46. That's absolutely crazy. And a guy with 7 rings who pretty much has it all, has a super hot wife, has 7 rings, is considered the greatest sports player of all time. Is it time to hang up the cleats for Tom Brady? I would like to see him go one more year because I'd like to, kind of a last dance thing. He tells us this is his last year because that would make it more impactful. Because I don't think he will retire because Tom Brady, he's not a guy who wants to go out on losing. I think that he will come back one more year and try and win one more Super Bowl. And if it does not happen, or if he wins it, he will hang up the cleats. And if he announces that he is coming back for one more season, but that is it, then I will be rooting for Tom Brady to win the Super Bowl that year, because to see the greatest quarterback of all time, possibly the greatest sports player of all time, just go out on a low note, you don't want to see that. But imagine Tom Brady retiring his last season and then win the Super Bowl, and he holds that Lombardi trophy for one last time. I think that would be pretty cool to see, knowing that it's his last time. Other people I know will not. A lot of people will not, but I don't have hatred for Tom Brady. Besides the Tuck rule, which we're not going to talk about that, but I don't have big hatred for Tom Brady. So I would be fine seeing him win one more Super Bowl as his farewell. I know you guys won't, but whatever. I think it would be cool to see as the greatest sports player of all time says farewell holding a trophy. But the Rams, great game to them. Great game by both teams. Amazing game. Had my family over, we were cheering, going crazy, but it was a great time, and it was a really enjoyable game. Then, holy crap, not my favorite game, but statistically and watch-wise, this was the best game. This game by the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen versus the Patrick Mahomes-like Kansas City Chiefs. Oh my God. I mean, this might be one of the top 10 games in NFL history. I mean, this game was incredible. You had absolutely everything in this game in the last 2 minutes, not even the entire game. Forget the entire game. The last 2 minutes, there was 25 points scored in 2 minutes. That is absolutely ridiculous. And oh my God, Gabriel Davis tied an NFL postseason record, racking in 4 touchdowns. Like, where was that this fantasy season? Because I guarantee you, he would be picked up off the waiver wire that quick. As matter of fact, I literally checked my dynasty league after that game, and it said, blah, 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 has picked up Gabriel Davis. Like, that's how good of a performance he had. But forget him, because Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes were having a duel of their own, throwing touchdowns back and forth. Tyreek Hill was running 40-yard dashes left and right, running sideline to sideline, cutting it upfield. This game had absolutely everything. It was so electric. I mean, Stephon Diggs made a tackle he tackled a fan. Like, this game had absolutely everything. This game was amazing to watch, as it was also pretty depressing to watch, if I'm being honest, because I was rooting for the Bills day in and day out. And I just want to make a huge apology to Mike Mitchelson's dad, Mike Mitchelson, my uncle. I'm sorry, because that game was probably short. 13 seconds, and then you guys end up losing in overtime. My prayers go out to you. I feel terrible. If that was the Raiders, I would probably cry. Pray for the Bills fans. Pray for Bills Mafia. Because, oh my God, they're poor souls. Getting into what happened, the Bills go down, they score with like 1:50 left. Patrick Mahomes go down and score with like 40 seconds left. Josh Allen gets the ball, goes down, and he scores with 13 seconds left. And then what was the Bills defensive coordinator doing? What were they doing? Lining up pretty much their entire secondary and linebackers on the 50-yard line. And it was that wide open where Travis Kelce got to run wherever he wanted. And they rushed 3 men, and Travis Kelce told Patrick Mahomes, he goes, I'm just going to run where the open field was. So he could literally run everywhere because they had their entire secondary on the 50-yard line, catches it, and then this was the Tyreek Hill play. Tyreek catches it 3 seconds, and he runs 20 yards and gets out to the 50. And then they do the same thing again. But this time, Travis Kelce runs where the open field is, catches it, gets another good 15 yards, and sets him up in field goal range. And that allows the Chiefs, with 4 seconds left, to bring out Harrison Butker and kick the game-tying field goal, which absolutely made my nerves go because I wanted the Chiefs to lose so bad. And I'll get into my reason for why I want the Bengals to win even more than ever now. I'll get to that when we talk about the game. But, oh, my God, what a game. We go into overtime. And this game was decided by a coin flip. It's disgusting as it sounds. If Josh Allen got that ball, no doubt in my mind, I think he would go down and score. No doubt in my mind, as we saw Patrick Mahomes got the ball, went straight down the field, and he scored a touchdown just like that, sending the Chiefs to the AFC Championship for the 4th straight year. I mean, that game, absolutely stunning. A thrill to watch with a horrible outcome. For Bills fans, for Raiders fans, for Chargers fans, for Broncos fans. And the only ones that are happy are the Chiefs fans because I'll get into it right now. Patrick Mahomes' brother and his wife are the most annoying people I've ever seen on the internet. So Joe Burrow, for the love of God, and for the sake of humanity and freezing cold people not wanting champagne doused on them, and for my For You page, please, for the love of God, Joe Burrow, send the Chiefs home because I don't want to see any more of them. I don't want them on my For You page, none of that. Joe Burrow, just beat the Chiefs for me, will you? Please, just beat the Chiefs. That is all I'm asking. I think Joe Shiesty can do it. Let's see what Joe Burrow can do on Sunday against the Chiefs. Let's go, Joe Burrow. Oh, my God, that game. All right, so we'll move on now as there's 2 hirings today, as we already talked about one, is that was the offense coordinator of the Green Bay Packers going to the Denver Broncos. I think this is a huge signing for the Broncos. I wanted the Raiders to hire him as their head coach, honestly, if I'm being real with you. He is just a great coach who is, every time he's been with Aaron Rodgers has had an MVP season, so that is saying something as an OC. So why not hire him? I mean, I think that's all I really need to say about this hire is I think easily one of the best hires in Denver Broncos history. I mean, it's just a great hire. You get a offensive mind, or of course he's offensive minded, but a quarterback guy, a quarterback coach who, if you can get a good quarterback like Aaron Rodgers or even a quarterback in the draft, he can be developed and he can play at an MVP level. As every time we've seen this offense coordinator with Aaron Rodgers, he has been at MVP level. So Packers signed him, a great signing in my opinion. And then the Colts signed the Bears signed defense coordinator Matt Eberflus, or whatever his name is. That's what I believe what it is, as their head coach, who has been coaching a top 5 defense for these past few years. I mean, this Colts defense has been great. They have found some studs. Sure, that's due to the GM. And hopefully we get their assistant GM, Ed Dodds. Apparently that interview went well today. So who knows? Maybe when this episode's out, Ed Dodds is the Raiders GM. We never know. But the Bears hiring the Colts DC, I think, is a great move because he has coached the Colts defense, who has been at a top 5 level for about a decent amount of time now, and he has produced them into having a very, very good defensive season. And I think that he easily had a top 5 defense this year with Darius Leonard, with that secondary, and even in the pass rush with DeForest Buckner and the run stuff with DeForest Buckner. They developed a very good defense, and I think that the Bears already have a great defense, and their defense will only be better. And quoting this right now, hot take right now, the Bears have a top 5 defense next year. Everyone quote me on that. The Bears have a top 5 defense next year. Watch. Just watch. So getting away from the coaching hires, we will move on to the one you all been waiting for. My predictions for this week is we have the Bengals versus the Chiefs first, and then we have the mighty 49ers versus Matthew Stafford in the LA Rams. We'll start, because I already kind of talked about the Bengals versus the Chiefs. As I said, Joe Girl, for the love of God, please beat the Chiefs. That's all I got to say. Just beat the Chiefs. Just please. Please, please, please. But I'll get into my real prediction right now. So, do I think Joe Burrow can beat the Chiefs? Yes. Do they have a chance to beat the Chiefs? Yes. Will they beat the Chiefs? No. They will not. I don't think they will beat the Chiefs. Mostly because Patrick Mahomes is back. I mean, he has been playing unbelievable, and I just don't think that Bengals defense can stop them. And the big deciding factor is, as I think of this, I don't think the Bengals defense can stop the Chiefs, but I think that the Chiefs can stop the Bengals. And that is going to be the biggest factor, is the Bengals scoring every drive, because no matter what defense you have, the Chiefs are going to score 30-plus points a game. Most likely, you got to count on it. So if you're the Bengals, sure, you plan defensively, you want to stop Mahomes, but that is just a slight chance of not happening, that you need to play an offense and you need to score every possession you have. Otherwise, you will lose this game. And I just don't think that the Bengals are capable of it. Sure, they beat the Chiefs, but in Arrowhead, I mean, they're in Arrowhead, one of the craziest crowds in sports, and I just don't see it happening. Sure, maybe Joe Burrow can pull out some of his call his own plays like he did in Tennessee, but it is going to be a very tough task against an only improved Chiefs defense. Trust me, I don't want the Chiefs to win at all. I don't. But I do think they will win. I do think that they will send the Bengals home. Sadly, as much as I want the Bengals to win, I just don't think I just don't think it will happen. I think it can happen, but I don't think it will happen. I want it to happen. I think it can happen, but it won't happen. That's my opinion on that. Then we have Matthew Stafford. 2 straight playoff wins for his first 2 playoff wins in his career, coming to the Rams. Third playoff game to go to the Super Bowl against the 49ers. And this is one of the things going around saying, 49ers own the Rams. The 49ers own the Rams. They beat them 6 straight times. The Rams will not win. And I'm thinking, everyone these days just goes off consistency. And football is not a consistent game. There is so many times where things get shaken up. It's not consistent. And everyone just goes based off of consistency, which I do not like. So you're going to say because the 49ers won their last 6 games that the Rams don't have a chance? That just doesn't make sense to me. The 49ers played against the Packers defense. Sure, they were in Lambeau, but they did not score 1 offensive touchdown. And you're going into LA, going against an even better defense. How are you going to expect to win against a very high-powered offense who has shown to score on you? Sure, you have shown to score again, but the Rams just beat Tom Brady, and you guys just haven't even scored a touchdown last week. So how are you going to expect to beat the Matthew Stafford-led offense, who has looked great this postseason? And you're going to have an offense that hasn't even scored a touchdown last week, and you're going to expect to win. That makes 0 sense to me. If you are picking the 49ers this game, I think you are crazy. They're playing only a better defense. That's just, it doesn't make sense to me. Just don't base your opinions off consistency. Because sometimes, sure, you'll get lucky and it will work. But it's not a great strategic move when you're picking games. So what I think here is, as I said, the 49ers did not score last week. And they're only playing a better defense. And I think the Rams have the most momentum in the entire NFL right now. Of course they will. They just beat Tom Brady. They just beat the greatest sports player of all time, and with one of the greatest rosters in the league, they just put them down. And I think that they'll do the exact same to the San Francisco 49ers. No doubt in my mind. So then we would lead to a Chiefs-Rams Super Bowl. And this would be a great Super Bowl in my opinion. You get to see Matthew Stafford face off against mighty Patrick Mahomes. And it's going to be who can stop them the most. If it is Rams, Chiefs. The Rams have the better defense by far. The Chiefs have the better offense by far. Well, as I said again, I think that the Rams would be able to stop the Chiefs more than the Chiefs can stop the Rams. And that is going to be the deciding factor in my decision for my predictions, for my updated predictions right now. So I will have the Rams winning the Super Bowl with Matthew Stafford finally holding up that Lombardi trophy getting out of Detroit. And sure, you Detroit fans can root for Stafford. You can be happy for Stafford, and you can be like, yay, Stafford won. I am happy. But do not all these Detroit fans thinking if Stafford wins, it's a Super Bowl for Detroit. I cannot stand it because it's not even close. This is only embarrassing you. You ditched away a player who's been there for 13 years, and then he goes to another team and bam, Super Bowl. That just would prove how bad the Lions franchise is. So if you're a Lions fan, don't treat this as a Super Bowl for you. Treat this as a Super Bowl for Stafford, and you're happy for him. This is not your Super Bowl. This is Stafford's Super Bowl. I'm talking way too much. This is Stafford's Super Bowl. Do not treat it as yours. It is Stafford's. Stafford, and my predictions right now, will win the Super Bowl. And I'll give you a score of 34-28. The mighty Detroit. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know why I said Detroit there. LA Rams come out on top and beat the Kansas City Chiefs. That is my predictions right then and there. Updated predictions because I went 1-4 last week. They were not some good predictions last week, but I'll take 1-4 predictions for the games we got. So very happy about that. Exciting games. Hopefully we get even more exciting games this week, even though it'll be very, very hard to top. But anyway, that is going to be it for the episode, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope that you guys go and follow all of our social medias. You can follow my Twitter at Landon.Mitchelson, and you can follow our TikTok at ThelockerRoom_PO. That is at ThelockerRoom_PO. So go follow our TikTok. Make sure you like and subscribe on the YouTube right now if that is where you're watching from. Like and subscribe. Tell your friends about these podcasts if they love sports. And the big thing is, it is time for you guys to hang up your cleats, stay around, and talk sports. And we will see you guys next time. Peace out.